Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Arborea. I'm Commander Exorcist, and it is time, once again, for Taco Tuesday. This is my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article, read it, talk about it, primarily from a lore perspective, but I will break the fourth wall if necessary. And before we get started, I have to offer you all an apology, at least all 200 of you that watched my short last night, because I specifically said in that short that there wasn't going to be a Taco Tuesday because Galnet hadn't given us anything worth talking about. They mentioned Lantern Light last week, but it really wasn't anything in depth that placed the station in lore and offered opportunity. Basically, they're calling for Brewer Corporation to come up with a solution to fix that station. I'm assuming we'll get a community goal at some point that will fix that station. That would be a cool way to do it. Or we'll get some kind of Galnet article, and we'll go over it at that point. But yeah, so here we are with a surprise Galnet drop, and we're going to be talking about it in a moment. But before we get started, I got two things to go over. First off, the usual YouTube stuff. If you enjoy the content that I create on this channel, this is your opportunity. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling me what you would do to save Lantern Light, because we haven't really gotten into the article yet, so I really can't tell you to comment on the article. You can also comment on the article I'm about to read if you want. And I also have a special thing that I want to mention. This is kind of outside of my norm, but I just want to ask you to join me in saying a very happy birthday to Mother Exorcist. It's my mom's birthday today, April 1st, and Taco Tuesday. I mean, what better combination do you get? Mom's birthday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, and Taco Tuesday day. You guys are getting the trifecta here. It's really freaking cool. All right, so today's article, I'm going to stretch it a little bit, but not too much because I don't want to break. But you know that we're getting a new ship. Elite Dangerous is getting a brand new ship, the Corsair, built by Gutamaya. Legends of Imperial style and prestige have basically come up with the idea to create ships for non-Imperial pilots. As much as I detest such blasphemy, that is the way of things going forward, so we'll just have to kind of deal with that. But today's article deals with a celebration, because every time we have a new ship, we have to have a party, right? So we're going to talk about the party as Gutamaya celebrates the Corsair launch. It says, Imperial socialites were treated to a tour of Gutamaya's newest ship, the Imperial Corsair. How about that title? We haven't heard that before. The Imperial Corsair at an extravagant launch on Capitol in Achenar. I have to say, before we move on, I am very, very sick and tired of this crap, because every time there's a new ship that comes out, there's this little party where everyone gets together, and they're all having fun, and they're all drinking and having whatever, parties and food and dancing. Guess who's not invited? Me. I'm not invited. I'm like the biggest Imperial shill out there, and I don't get any invites to these things. There's never a, Imperial socialites, and Exorcist was invited. I just wasn't invited. I'm never invited, man. Even like El Presidente probably gets invited to this crap, and here I am just kind of reading it for fun to entertain you guys for a little bit. I mean, that's cool. It's all good. Don't take that the wrong way, but it would be nice to be invited to one of these shindigs for a while. Yeah, man can hope and dream, I guess. So, moving on. Gutamaya's event was attended by over 1,000 prominent engineers, senators, press members, and other notable individuals, excluding Exorcist. Princess Aisling Duval and her cousin Lucretia Roche Duval were the guests of honor. What was that song? Lucretia, My Reflection? Anyway, so that's a bunch of people, bunch of engineers. Notice this says prominent engineers. So what that means is that if you have 40 engineers that built the Imperial Corsair, and there's like 10 of them that get paid higher than the others, those are the ones that got to go. Those are the, quote, prominent ones. It's always like the figureheads that are there hobnobbing with all the, Imperial royalty, while the actual engineers that built the thing, yeah, they're probably back in the lab eating a cheese pizza and watching this stuff on TV. Trust me, I know from experience. That's what happens. Lucretia's cool. I don't think I've heard of that person before. Maybe. I don't remember them mentioning Lucretia. Positive reviews of the Imperial Corsair's public unveiling have been published in several outlets across the Empire already, including here on the Commander Exorcist channel. I've reviewed the Imperial Corsair. Didn't know that's what it's called, but my first impressions were not good. It was a really weird-looking ship, and it's hard to judge a ship by pictures. And anyone who has flown a ship for any length of time and has had the opportunity to sit down and say, like, showroom and look at, say, a Cobra Mark V, a Type 8, Type 9, Type 6, Asp Explorer, Anaconda, whatever, when you look at it, a lot of times it's like, okay, it looks cool, but the next question is, how does it fly? And that's the thing with the Corsair. When we saw it, it's like, wow, it's got a really big beak. It has a beak. It's a toucan. And it kind of looks like an upside-down melted toucan. And it's hard to judge something like that from just the appearance. You have to get your hands on the thing. You have to fly it in order to know how it feels. And so that's kind of was the issue with the Corsair. But again, once we saw it in flight, oh my God, it is gorgeous. Like I'm really excited about this ship. And I'm trying to work a deal. I'm talking to some folks at Gutamaya, and they're not entirely ignoring my emails. They're just a little slow responding, trying to get my hands on one so I can test it out at some point. We'll see. But I may just end up having to buy the thing like everybody else. But it would be really cool to fly and test out, because if it's got as much of the optional slots, like for the modules and everything, it could be just really good at just about anything. It's got a pretty wide wingspan, which will be hard for canyon running, at least in my opinion, but we'll have to see. So the public opinion is pretty positive, but the question ultimately comes down to, are you team beak or team no beak? Because apparently it comes with a ship kit that makes it not have such a sharp beak on it. It's like a day one patch for a video game. It's like when you release it and you know it's broken, or it doesn't work as intended. Or it may just have a little bitty thing you want to adjust, so you release a day one patch. In this case, it's a ship kit that will make your beak not so prominent. The Corsair's specifications showed a promising mix of straight-line speed and large cargo capacity, making it ideal for traders who value efficient travel times, said Eugene Varick of the Imperial Herald. The sleek design employs Gutamaya's famous curves. It actually does. It looks gorgeous. Attendees were queuing up with their blinks to take the perfect selfie. Blinks, camera. Okay, 3311 terminology. So everything else is the same. We just call them blinks. So I can imagine people lining up to see this one. And there's a reason, too, that the Empire would really want Gutamaya to do something like this. There are ships that are locked behind Imperial rank, just like the Federation has. They have their own ships that are locked behind Federal rank. And plenty of people have ascended to ranks in the Imperial Navy to earn those ships. But having a ship that bears the Imperial design and aesthetic and kind of the poise that comes with being in the Empire, and not having it locked behind a rank progression, it's almost like a flying piece of Imperial propaganda. And so, of course, the Empire would want this thing to be out there. You want people to fly this thing because it's like, oh, go fly our ship and be the pride of the Empire, because nobody's going to know if you're flying that thing. I'm like, okay, well, I assume you're with the Empire, or at least you've helped them out to a certain degree, and you might support them. I don't know. But it is interesting. It will make a good propaganda piece going forward to kind of promote the Imperial aesthetic. What impressed me was the flexibility of the Corsair's internal components, says Mayu Azusa for Eye on Achenar. With the right modules, this vessel could adapt well to any pilot profession, all while enjoying a classic Imperial aesthetic, of course. And this is what I was talking about with the possibility of like turning it into an Explorer. It's got decent trading capability from what I can see. I don't think it's going to be like a Trailblazer's workhorse. I don't think you're going to be doing a lot of colonization hauling, but for the folks that are doing regular hauling back and forth, sounds like it might be a decent option. You might have to strip it down a little bit, but still, sounds like it'd be a decent option. And then finally, it says the Imperial Corsair is a medium-sized vessel, notable for being the first multi-purpose Gutamaya ship, which will be commercially available to pilots outside of the Imperial Navy. It is expected to be available for purchase from shipyards next week, and that's the big deal. That's the big thing. Shipyards were notified recently that they're getting this thing next week. So there's probably boxes of these things like lined up in the shipyards that just are waiting to be opened because they've got like the little magnetic lock on it that won't unlock until the day that it's supposed to be released. So, it's this is so in the last year or so, not Gutamaya, but like my goodness, I have them on the tip of my like Lakon and the traditional shipbuild. Let's call them the traditional shipbuilders. The Zorgon Peterson, they've put out some incredible ships. And a lot of it comes from the SCO technology. Once the Titans started to fall and we were able to research the SCO technology, we took a lot of that research and we integrated it into our current ship builds. So now you've got the Mandalay and you've got the Type 8, and you've got all these ships that are basically built around an SCO drive. It's like they put the SCO drive on a table and they built a ship around it. And it's nice to see Gutamaya getting in on that action. It really is. And it kind of sucks because we really are seeing, I think, the end of some of the classic ships. And if you are flying classic ships like, say, the Asp Explorer, the Dolphin, maybe even the Anaconda, their frameshift drives are being stripped out and replaced with SCO drives. As inefficient and dangerous as they are in these older ships, that's still kind of the prevailing setup going forward. And so it's going to be interesting to see what comes in the next few months, because this is obviously a corporate trend. Gutamaya has seen the success that these other shipbuilders have had with their new designs, and they are just running for it, man. They're taking every bit of advantage that they can get to try to get a little bit of that sweet credit. And hey, I can't say I blame them, because a win for Gutamaya is a win for the Empire. Hey everybody, these are the Disciples. If you would like to support the work that I do on this channel, you can do all the stuff I said at the beginning of the video, like and subscribe, but you can also go to commanderexorcist.tv/support, and that will link you to my Patreon, and you can become a member of my Patreon. You get early access to the big projects that I work on. A lot of videos go early access, about 24 to 48 hours. I do a monthly vlog where I do a recap of what is done on the channel and thoughts and feelings about that, and just a bunch of other stuff trying to make it worth your investment. So if you'd like to support, that's the way to do it. Would love to have you on board. And my friends, that is going to be it for today's Taco Tuesday. It was kind of short and sweet, but I did like the article. I liked it a lot better than what came before, because we are in a new era. This is a new galaxy. We are post-war prosperity, and we've seen all the other shipbuilders start to put out high-quality stuff, and now we've got Gutamaya, the pride of Imperial shipbuilding, about to put out a flying toucan, and I'm really excited about it. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I mentioned in the video before, you can talk about how helping Lantern Light. I'd also like to hear your thoughts on the Corsair. I think it's got a really good reaction, but are you planning to get one? I'm planning to get one. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll figure something out. But I would love to hear your perspective on either Lantern Light or on the Toucan. That would be really awesome. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out for this episode of Taco Tuesday. I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there.